Today we're going to bust the myth that Travis and Adele have a perfect marriage and have it all together.
Right.
Hey friends, and welcome back to this episode.
And if you're new here and you're just joining our channel,
Welcome.
we welcome you. I'm Adele and this is Travis, and our channel is all about how you can be your best self inside your marriage.
I love that. You want to stick around for this video because this is raw, real. People think we have a perfect marriage.
Yes.
And this right here is a video to show that no, there's no such thing as a perfect marriage. There is marriages who are consistently working at becoming more healthy.
Yeah.
And this video gives a good idea of what it's like behind closed doors in the Graham's house.
Yeah, and it is fresh. So stick around for the whole story. We've got a 2-part series this week and next week.
Drama!
But first, I want to share about a really exciting series we have coming up.
Yes.
It's called Rebuilding Marriage Chapter by Chapter. Stick around to the end so you can find out how you can get involved and even get more healing in your own marriage.
So today we're going to bust a myth about Travis and Adele's marriage. Recently we heard some valuable feedback that in some of our videos it seems like we're unapproachable. Intimidating in ways like they have a perfect marriage.
We have it all together.
We have it all together. We've heard that so many times, and it could be further from the truth. It's not like we have it all together. And this video is proof of that.
Yeah, so let's just dive in. Have you ever had a really strong emotion come over you about your spouse, against your spouse, or towards your spouse? And like deep down inside, you really don't want to be feeling that way, but I cannot control it. You can't control it. It's just this, that you just can't make it go away.
Like, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this negative feeling toward you?
Right, especially.
Like I want nothing to do with you.
Yes.
And yet in reality, I love you. You're my spouse.
Right. Do you relate to that? Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I think that most couples, I would say all couples, because all humans are different, go through this. I don't get you. I don't understand you. And then we have these
anger,
things that come up for us,
judgment,
these emotions that come for us against the other person.
Right.
And we're going to talk about how that dynamic works in our marriage and how it could possibly work in your marriage. As we talk about this, put yourself in our shoes. Not that you relate to the exact circumstance, but relate to what we're going through and how we're relating to each other.
That's good. Yeah. Okay, so I want to take you back to, we went on a vacation for our daughter's 9th birthday, and our first stop was going to be Chocolate World. And just to give you,
World.
So excited.
Man, we love chocolate.
Yes, we do.
It was the best time ever.
Yes. So just to give a little background, leading up to this vacation, I started to encounter so many issues with editing, with our software, with computer, hard drive, audio, like so much was going on. And I feel like I was able to, push through that pretty easily. Well, we were supposed to have a mic waiting for us, and we got the mic when we got there and plugged it in and expected it to work. And we are in the middle of Chocolate World, and I'm like, you know what? I should check the audio to make sure it's working. And this is what it sounded like. I lost it. I was so upset because we had just filmed this awesome experience that Haven went through.
I felt it was great filming. The
was
B-roll
so
was
fun.
great. The interviews were great. The conversation was working out pretty good.
Until I was like, this is ruining my life. I just became such a victim in that moment. And so I'm realizing, I'm fast forwarding what this means for the editing process down the road, and I am panicked. You're quite a ways in front of me, and I just basically walked off from Haven, and I was like, I've got to find your daddy. Walked over to you, and I just start telling you what's going on for me, and I'm panicking, and you're like, well, let me take a look at it, and you're trying to figure it out.
Well, first of all, I'm in the Reese's aisle.
I'm looking at Hershey.
A wall full of every Reese's there is ever in the world.
Absolute heaven.
And I'm like, wow, look at all these Reese's. And then that's the world that I'm in. Until
It's because of my mind. I really want to get this done, right? I think one, we could pray, but two is I feel like the energy that's coming from you is really not good. Is what
I'm wanting to cry, is what's going on for me. So, like, sympathy and empathy would go a lot further than that.
I just want you to get the world that I'm in.
Right.
I am enjoying myself.
You were.
Yeah.
Not me.
No.
So
There was no transition in the conversation.
I'm like, hey, this is not cool. Like, our brand new mic doesn't even work. Like, I've lost all the audio, and I am just going on and on and on. And share what happened for you.
I'm not quite sure. I don't necessarily remember, other than I was really upset at the way you were acting.
Yeah.
I was thinking, it's not the end of the world. We have our mics that we use, they have backup recording in them. Even though we hadn't figured that out yet, we still had a backup recording. And like, well, we still have that. And then I was thinking, also, this is the first night here. It's really not that big of a deal. This video, if it doesn't work, it's
Scratch
okay.
it.
It's our daughter's having fun. We could just let this go. That's what was going through my mind. Just it's all right. Just let it go.
Yeah.
I was very dismissive to whatever you had going on because I was like, it makes no sense to me that you have that going on.
I was devastated because it wasn't like I could just take that auto recording and line it up.
No.
I had nothing to line it up with. I was going to have to spend hours and hours and hours, and I'm seeing all that, and I am just falling apart.
Well, I don't see that because I don't do the editing. I don't know exactly what she's going through, what she's feeling. I really don't know.
Yeah, so we're like looking back, all the issues I had before leading up, I handled them, and I wasn't stressed. I was like, this is going to work itself out. We'll figure it out. And I just kept plugging forward.
Yeah.
It was that moment that it changed for me. Because when you didn't receive how I was feeling about this, you actually came back with, I cannot believe the way you're acting right now. And I was like,
How
I
dare you?
cannot believe he just said that to me. And I got offended.
Yeah.
My blood was not blood sugar.
Not in the chocolate factory.
That's a good one. Oh, that's funny. So my blood pressure went pshoom. I felt my heart rate just about to come out of my chest. And you, I can tell, are fired up at me. And poor little Haven. Oh, that's what really gets me is remembering her face. And she's like, guys,
let's just worry about this later. Let's just have a good time, film, forget about this until we get to the car. So I imagine there's going to be a cool thing right around the corner that we're going to want to video. And I'm saying let's just change our attitudes for right now. And let's just continue on. We'll talk about this later. We got this.
guys, stop. We're in Hershey. Remember? Look around. And I am like, that is the least thing I am worried about right now. This is like,
Don't you
what
know,
am I going to do?
Yeah, don't you know what this means to me?
So I did recognize, even though I was offended by what you said, I knew that this was my issue. So I was like, I'm going to need some time. Let me walk around. I need to go care for my heart because I'm not angry at you. I think you took it personal in that you thought I was angry at you. I was angry at the mics, but you know, I needed to go care for my heart and the fact that it was me feeling like a failure. I just failed this whole mission, this family adventure mission, which if you haven't checked out our family channel, we'll put a link here. You got to go check it out.
Yeah.
But
Let's pause for just a second. What you're talking about is you are making a grown-up decision in the middle of two-year-olds acting like toddlers.
we were so.
That's important. That's important for you to get is at some point, somebody in the relationship needs to be the adult and say, all right, let's call a timeout. I don't know what's going on here, but I know that I need to go take care of my heart.
Yeah.
And so the first grown-up decision was there.
And I was so surprised because we're having such a great time. Even if it goes bad, we're still a family. We still have time.
I agree. And I said, I just need a minute. I feel like you don't have patience with me so that I can work through this. I am trying to work through this.
It's ruining my fun here.
I
You guys
know.
arguing is ruining my fun already. I was having so much fun.
Yeah, so I sit down on a bench and I'm watching poor Haven walk around the store, and Travis is like walking behind her, following her around, and I'm like, I have ruined my daughter's experience tonight. Like, I was really feeling the weight of that. And so I was like, oh, please forgive me for that. That is not how I want to be. That's not who I'm committed to being.
Right.
Now, I also know that fight or flight instinct, it takes a good 20 or 30 minutes to wear off.
Yeah.
So while I went and took care of my heart with the Lord and I got that straight, I was still hyped up and I knew I wasn't good in my body. And so I start, joining up with you guys, and I'm trying to get close without being too close, because I know that if you say one thing, my body is going to respond again and I'm going to be right back in it.
Yeah.
So I'm like feeling I need to keep a distance, but you're reading it as I don't know what.
No, I'll tell you how I'm reading it is I'm still not good. I obviously haven't taken care of my heart, and I'm expecting you to apologize because of what you just did.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that, and you seem to be at a distance, and to me, you're still pouting. I don't know what you've done.
Yeah.
But that's the way
Judgment.
it occurred. I had complete judgment,
Yeah.
and I'll talk about that in just a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could feel that. And so that is the distance I was having there, is I'm not sure you're completely safe for me to rejoin the family.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling this draw of like, I do not want to ruin this girl's evening, So I'm really trying my best to snap out of it. And so we ended up leaving, and I mean, it was
was
just,
done anyway.
Yeah, we had traveled all day, and it was just, we were depleted.
I had thoughts like,
Very
why did we
depleted.
even come on this vacation? And
Is this, oh my gosh, the whole week is going to be like
yeah.
this now.
And
This is day one.
This is day 1 of 8.
And I was thinking while we were in the car on the way back to the hotel, I was like, I am determined not to allow this to ruin our vacation. Like, I am going to have to let this issue with the mics go. We're without mics the entire week. I'll figure it out later, and we'll just roll with it.
Yeah.
God has something that will be, an answer to whatever that is. So I was able to let it go, but I had not let go of what happened between us. And so obviously we're around Haven. It's not like we can just have an adult conversation in front of her, because she gets uncomfortable. She's like, guys, stop arguing. And we're like, we're having discussions, Haven. We're not arguing, because we're talking to each other like this, but there's like
It's a lot of tension.
A
And
lot of
she's not
tension.
used to that tension between us.
no, she's not.
It's not
This
that
is
we
rare.
argue all the time. We don't. We have disagreements, but we're really good at taking care of those and seeing each other's side within minutes.
Yeah, this was not that way.
No.
This was like, I'm not sure I will be able to shake
Yeah.
what just went down.
Yeah.
There was this anger, this just, I wanted to just like, I don't know, shake you or something.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you are not seeing what I'm going through.
Yeah. And I, on the same side, was like, no, I'm really not. And it's because you're not seeing how you're acting.
Right. Yeah.
And I was completely stuck in the judgment side of, what is this? And I need you to take care of this before I can see anything else.
yeah.
That was exactly what I had going on.
Which I felt controlled.
Yeah, no
In
doubt.
that.
No doubt.
So all of this is like without words, by the way. This
Yeah.
is happening behind the scenes, and we're trying to interact in a small hotel room with Haven. So I was like, can I see you in the hallway? And he was like, yes. So we go out in the hallway. So here's a good picture for you. The two married people
Who do marriage
who
ministry.
do marriage ministry are in the hallway having discussions under our breath at a whisper while
Yeah.
people are walking by us. Get that picture in your head.
Yeah, small hallway,
Oh,
heated fellowship,
heated fellowship.
and guests walking by.
I remember at one point saying, I think I said, something like, and I expect you to take ownership with Haven and apologize to her. And you said something like, you will not tell me what to do. And I was like, I cannot believe he just said that. But at the same time, I'm like, I can't believe I said that. Why would I say that?
Right.
Like, I would want you to do it because it's what you feel like you need to do, not
Right.
because I'm making you and forcing you in it. So it was definitely that side of me that is like, I am taking control of the situation right now, and I'm taking ownership. You better take ownership too. Because this
Yeah.
was half of you and how you responded to me.
Yeah.
You could have been loving and just given me a hug because it wasn't about you. It was about the mics.
Right. In no way did I want to give you a hug. You were prickly. Prickly.
I was so upset.
Yeah, let's take a pause for a second, and I just want to share that when we are depleted as humans, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, the 4 areas of your life that you should be filled up in, when you're depleted, you will act and do things. Like your behavior, your thoughts, your actions will not be your best self.
That's right.
You're not going to be acting the way that you really want to act when you're depleted. That's the importance of filling yourself up, because this happens.
And we recognize that we get the most depleted when we're not at home.
Yeah.
Because we have a good self-care routine. So we stay filled up in all 4 areas.
Yes.
When we leave, something goes out of balance.
Our diet, our sleep.
Something.
Yeah. Our exercise.
Computer issues,
Yeah, it's so true.
mic issues.
So let's go back.
Okay, so after, I don't know, we spent a good 45 minutes having really intense whispers at each other. In fact, I wish our mics would have been
Right.
recording those moments. Oh, not our best moments.
I would not want to listen to them again. It'd be like
No.
going back and rewatching my old YouTube videos of me speaking.
Right,
Me having these expectations of Adele and not telling you what they are.
right. That's pretty awful
I don't
too.
want to do it. It's embarrassing.
It's painful.
It's embarrassing. Hey, I want to go back to something you said. You said you had this judgment around the way that I should and shouldn't be. And I also had the same judgment for you. So we both had this pride,
Yes.
this pride of I'm better than you and I know what you should and shouldn't do.
Yeah, mine, I think, was the victim of my circumstances right now, and you not tending to that. It's pride, but it was the victim side that was fighting against you.
Yeah.
The need for the approval and the maybe even fixing it. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
makes sense.
so we finished up in the hallway enough for it to be
Handled.
handled. That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
We
I didn't
agreed.
feel fully clear. Like if
I
it was
didn't
a
feel
0 to 100% of I am not clear at all and 100% is we're good. Let's go out and be happy.
Move on. Yeah.
I'm at like a 90.
Yeah, I was
85
probably
or
at a
90.
70,
And,
80.
and I'm still not fully clear. But
Right.
if you were to ask me what would make it clear, I don't know if I could answer it.
I
right
couldn't
then.
have answered it.
Yeah.
I was unclear myself.
Yeah.
I was so baffled that just happened to us because that has not happened in a very long time.
Good point. That might be it. That might be what I had.
So anyways, we had a great vacation. It was a wonderful week. Really nothing else went wrong. I just let it go. I was like, I am just not going to worry about it. I'm just going to enjoy myself. If we get videos from it, then great. And if
Yeah.
not, oh well.
Yeah. The rest of the week was absolutely amazing
Yeah. Until
until Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Yeah. And then I come home and the weirdest thing is I'm starting to, after going to bed, I'm having this back issues. And I'm like, what is that? And it got so painful, so intense that at some point I could not move.
Yeah.
It like locked up my back and I started getting scared. It became this concern that I'm just got some muscle issues or it's just something minor to, in my mind, I had red lights going off and I had sirens and I was like, something is wrong with you.
Yes.
Did it occur that way?
Oh yeah. And it doesn't help your case at all that I've had 2 spine surgeries and a long history of back pain.
And a lack of empathy.
So I'm like, oh, you're having a muscle spasm? Okay. You'll get through it.
So I just want to share what happened to me. After a bit of going through this pain, it seemed like an hour or two or so. It was late at night, and I couldn't get comfortable. I couldn't get in bed, and I couldn't get moving around. I just could not find the place I wanted to be. And I'm like, I had these intrusive thoughts of, years ago, I was addicted to opiates, and I had all these spine issues and back issues, and that's how I ended up getting addicted to opiates. And man, I was not good. I was in a horrible place. And not only that, but I was such a victim in that horrible place. And I just couldn't move around. And I was walking with a cane, and I had this back brace. And I had these fears that that's what's going to happen. I'm going to end up going to the doctor. I'm going to need surgery. They're going to put me on opiates, and I'm going to get addicted. I'm going to walk around with a cane and a back brace, and I'm no longer any good. And you're no longer going to want me as my wife anymore. And I won't be able to play with my daughter anymore. And the sky was falling, and it was falling fast. And when I went to, and in the middle of these thoughts, I went to get up to use the restroom before going to sleep finally. And I couldn't move, and I couldn't get up. And it was like something was stopping me from getting up, and I just started crying, like from physical pain, but from also just this
Defeat.
defeat.
I saw it.
I was crying, and I was like, oh. And I made it to the bathroom, and I'm in there, and ended up just being in there for like 30, I don't know how long. I was in there for a while, just crying and just, woe is me, this victimhood. And I'm in the middle of there crying, and I felt like the Holy Spirit speak to me and say, what are you doing? Why are you acting this way? Why are you crying? Not in a condescending way, but in a very loving way. Like, this is not you. This is not you. Yeah. And he was reminding me that this is fear. And he gave me the verse of, God does not give me the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And I spoke that over myself. And then I felt this shame and condemnation from my past. And I was like, now, therefore, there is no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus. What's amazing is when you speak truth over yourself, fear leaves. Spiritual warfare cannot stick around. It has to leave. It's one of our weapons. It says in Ephesians 6, 10 through 18, one of our weapons is the sword of the Spirit. And so when I'm speaking these Bible verses, the fear is going. Yeah. And not that the pain went away, it didn't, but the fear was gone. And I was able to get myself back to like, oh, I'm fine. I just happen to have a back injury. That's something that's hurting me right now, but it doesn't mean all these things that I made it mean.
Yeah.
So I was able to go get back in bed without that affecting me anymore.
And I'm laying in bed and I'm watching this and I'm like, what's going on over there? I'm trying to figure out, is this legit? Like, you're really injured? Because he didn't do anything to his back. And with the history that I have, I'm thinking, oh, we need to just, move your back. You've gotten stiff. You probably bruised it somehow or tweaked it a little bit, but it'll be okay. We'll just get you to the chiropractor. But I'm watching him fall apart and I'm like, okay, this is really interesting. But then I watched you snap out of it too. Yeah. So fast forward, we get home and I think it was sometime on Monday.
Yeah, we get home Saturday. I go to a chiropractor on Sunday, and it gets okay, and then it gets really bad again. It gets okay, it gets really bad again, where it's difficult for me to walk.
Right. Yeah, so on Monday,
I get a cane. And I'm using the cane because I'm like, man, this really helps me to walk. And so I'm using it to help me walk around, but it does change my gait. I do rely on the cane because it's taking away some of that intensity of my pain.
Yeah, and I just watched him go into this victimhood and just not being able to move, but also sensing like there's more to this under the surface. I am sensing that this is not a legit injury, and I'm sensing spiritual warfare, but I can't put my finger on it. Yeah. And I don't know, really, I don't have any clarity. But I'm having these thoughts of like, I do not like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and I can sense it. And what's interesting is sometimes when people feel like their spouse is disconnecting from them, they will make efforts to come toward them. And sometimes it's in unhealthy ways. And when that happens, this other spouse is like, ugh. And then you're trying to chase after them, and it becomes this thing that you don't want any part of. And that's exactly what
It
happened.
pushed me away.
My victimhood was displaying words and actions and behavior that you did not like.
It reminded me of the days in our past,
Yes.
and I was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I had all this fear of, is this what I'm married to? Are you going to get over this? Are you making this pain up? I mean, how did you go from like great to just on your back and can hardly move? And I know injuries happen. So I'm also having this logical, maybe something's really wrong. And then I'm sensing the Holy Spirit say, keep digging into this. So fast forward, I am really starting to distance myself. I am actually feeling disgusted. Just looking at you was just, it was a disgust for me. He was being needy.
Yeah,
and I was
thoughts
like,
are connecting with being needy. Yeah.
Because I don't want to feel that way about you.
Right.
I love you, and I'm like battling this war on the inside.
It has occurred to me that your facial features, your look, your body, your demeanor, was you were disgusted with me.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, I think it's because you are acting like a victim. We are excited to introduce to you our online community. It's called Rebuilding Marriage Chapter by Chapter, and it's designed to help you heal from betrayal and rebuild your marriage. We will be offering a wealth of resources, advice, workshops, personal stories, exercises, and so much more. This is in a private setting where you can connect with other couples who understand exactly what you're going through. You know, we believe that healing and rebuilding marriage incrementally is much like turning the pages of a book. And so we wanted to create a unique opportunity for a transformative journey, chapter by chapter, as we write our book, to help each couple rebuild trust, nurture emotional connection, and cultivate a much stronger foundation for your marriage. So we would love for you to join this community. We want to support you every step of the way in your healing. And as we write our book, we will be using our community as a test audience for the content that will be in our book. We'll be sharing the exercises, journaling topics, and other activities that we have found really helpful in our own healing journey. We want to make sure that the book the Lord has called us to write is as helpful as possible for couples who are struggling to rebuild their marriage after betrayal. And we believe that as we go through this content, it will help you heal in a God-honoring way, surrounded by other couples all doing the work to heal. So we would love for you to join our community today and be a part of this transformative journey in your own marriage. So you can click the link to find out more about that. All right.
Okay.
Let's bring them back.
So
In the next 2 episodes, you're going to want to stick around because we're talking about what are we talking about? I don't even know.
we're going to talk about that and some other things. You definitely want to be there.
Yeah. I thought you were going to go right after that.
No. I thought you had more to say. Me too. I know that we have gave a couple hints about the book that we're writing, the one that we're writing. We're writing?
We're writing it.
We're writing it. That one.
Yeah. So stick around to the end so you can find out how... Blah, blah, blah.